this. It's driving me bonkers. But I went into town this morning and picked up some things. I picked up some things from the parts store and also from the salvage yard, which I forgot to bring down here. From the parts store I went and got, and yes, I went to O'Reilly's, but I got a PCV valve fuel filter, the PCV valve, the crankcase filter. This goes up in the air box actually. Some throttle body cleaner and some brake fluid. I'm gonna see if I can get the brakes working. I'm gonna bleed them out and see if that works. If not, then it probably needs a new master cylinder. The other parts I got are 2 solenoids, EVR valve, and I also got a new soup can vacuum reservoir that has the right connections on top, just to make sure I don't have a vacuum leak in that can where I sealed it all up. Never know. So I need to go up and get those other parts, and then I'm gonna get to work taking things off, putting things on the project truck.
Trailer for sailoring. Man, trailer for sailoring. Ain't got no cigarettes, but trailer for sailoring.
It's actually a beautiful day here in central Iowa. Temperatures right now are in the middle to upper 70s. Good breeze going, the sun's out. Yard needs mowed, fields are drying. Still probably gonna be a couple, 2 or 3 more days until we get in the field though. So here are the parts I got from the salvage yard. Got me a new vacuum reservoir, which I'm gonna throw some paint on this. It's a solid can, but just starting to get some surface rust on it. Gonna paint that up real quick. These are the 2 solenoid valves, the TAB and TAD valves. I don't remember what that stands for off the top of my head. The other one, this one here, this one has the green vacuum line that comes off of it, which goes to the EGR valve. The other one is the white line, which runs up and actuates your blend door, I believe. Gives vacuum to that, which that seems to work, but one of the codes, one of the codes is 565, Canister Purge Solenoid circuit fault. But I thought I would replace that anyway, since it does have the vacuum line that goes directly to the EGR valve. I believe the solenoids, they all have something to do with the emission stuff, EGR, vacuum, all that. Anyway, if any of that stuff isn't working, I think it can affect your EGR. So I picked some up, I'm gonna swap them out and see if anything makes a difference. So I put some tape on the bolt threads and up here on the vacuum ports. Probably should sand it all down. Not going to, just gonna throw some paint on it, put it in the truck, and if everything gets working real good, maybe I'll take it back out. I need to find me a place in here out of the wind. Perfect.
Trailer for sailoring.
I have that can drying over there. And I think the first thing I'm gonna do, which may end up being the hardest thing, this little PCV valve. In these trucks, the PCV valve on both the 5.8 and the 5.0 is under the intake, the upper intake in the valve cover, and I don't think you can even see it. It's a real booger to get to. I've done it several times, and you almost think you can't do it, but it can be done. It's just in a really bad place. Would have been a lot better if maybe they put it on the other side of the engine, but it is possible. Well, the PCV valve on this truck was throwing me for a loop a little bit. On my green truck, well, you can't really see on it either, down under the valve cover, you would have the PCV valve sticking up out of the valve cover, and the hose just fits right on the end of it, which would be this hose right here, goes into your upper intake, not in the tree, but there's a port here in front. However, on this truck, and I had to go watch a video on it, on the 5.8 evidently, well, there's a hose that connects to this elbow, and this part fits down in your valve cover. The hose connects onto here, and then the PCV valve goes down into here, and this And then this clamp goes around the bottom of the PCV valve, and then that hose connects to the PCV valve, goes up into the intake. I started taking it apart. I thought somebody had cobbled it together. And actually, when I pulled this elbow out, I thought they just stuck an elbow of some kind in there with no PCV valve. But evidently, that's how it is. Even in the Haynes manual, they talk about reusing the elbow. So I took this old one out. Doesn't sound too good. It still moves, but not quite like the new one. This new one has this other port up here on top of it. I'm not really sure what that's for. Came with a plug that was in between these two, so I took that plug, plugged this top, and it should work now. So I'm going to finagle all that back together and be done with it. So actually changing the PCV valve on the 351 is easier than on the 302 because you don't have to fight getting it out of the valve cover, which is under the upper intake, but now I've basically done both on the project truck. So I got the PCV valve in back there. I've also got this breather filter in up here, which on the back side of the air box there's a little horseshoe clip. I'm not sure if you can see that. It is right, right in front of my light. I don't know. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. Just fits down on. There's a little slot in the back of this, and it just fits in there. It holds it into the box. Need a new air filter as well. This was over that little filter, and God only knows how old that is. But here's what was on it for a filter before. Pretty much nothing. Moving right along, gonna get to the fuel filter here, which is basically right under the driver's door on the frame rail. Already got these clips off, which I hope you can see, which they hold the fuel line onto the filter. The short end on these goes in towards the filter, both sides. So you take those off, and to get these lines off, they call them quick connect, which they do connect quickly, but getting them off can be rather tough. I've always had best luck with these plastic disconnect tools. You slip them over the line, you push them inside the fuel line, which you might have to pull towards the filter a little bit. There's little fingers inside this fuel line that fit over a lip on the filter. You have to get past those, and then the line should slide off. So I got this fuel filter off of here. I don't remember which way it was on, but see how much crud we get coming out of this. Yeah, that's pretty dirty. That way's not bad, but this one must be towards the engine, and that's some pretty dirty fuel coming out of there. This was a clean cup. So like I just said, this was a perfectly clean paint cup, and that's what the gas looks like that came out of there. Shine a light up through the bottom of it. You can see that it's not too good. I also tried blowing through this filter, and it's rather tough to blow through this. You should be able to blow through a fuel filter and have almost zero restriction. This not so much. It takes a bit of pressure to blow air through this. So I can't really show under the truck very good how I'm doing this. Lighting isn't good, and not a real good place to put the camera. Plus it's a little bit breezy under there. But so this is the filter, and the way those clips work, well, putting it on is a piece of cake. You put your line on there and you push, and then you put those safety clips. That's what those metal clips were. They're safety clips. So they just push on, but to get them off, you got to slide that plastic piece. There's little fingers inside the fuel line that go around that lip right there on the filter, and you have to slide that plastic piece in that way to get under those fingers, spread them out so you can slide the line off. Good design sometimes doesn't work real good. Those actually came off fairly easy. So I'm gonna get the new filter put up under there and hooked up, and that will be done. So looking in the Haynes manual here, it says that fuel pressure should be, right here, all other EFI engines with the engine running should be 30 to 45 psi. And I wrote down in here, when I had the engine on before, I had 33. And I just shut the truck off here a minute ago. I was gonna see if it was gonna bleed off any. And it hasn't, because it was just under 40. So fuel pressure seems to be okay. Not really running any different than it was, but we're getting things replaced. I'm gonna get on the solenoids and we'll see if that makes a difference. Got the new can on. It's been quite a while. I'm waiting for the fuel pressure to bleed down, and it's still sitting at about 33 or so. Once that bleeds off, I'm gonna start it up, see if it runs any better by magic or something, and then I'm gonna start replacing, well, I guess I could start replacing the solenoids now. Well, it was the day before yesterday when I last recorded. We did get in the field yesterday for a good amount of time, and then it decided to rain quite a bit this morning. I think we've got at least an inch so far today, and we may get some more this afternoon, so it might be a couple more days till we get back in the field, and then it's supposed to rain again. Corn harvest just isn't going so good weather-wise. After I got done recording last time, I was going to start bleeding the brakes on this. However, I got started, or tried to get started. The bleeder screws are froze shut. I got them, I sprayed some stuff on them, got them soaking. I don't know if it's helped. I haven't tried to bust them loose again. And had something kind of bad happen. The day before yesterday, when I was recording, I think I started this video that day. That night, something happened that those of you that have been subscribed to the channel for any length of time, you've seen Moxie Dog, and the night before last, Moxie died. I'm not going to make a big video out of this. I'm not going to make a whole video out of this or make it real long or go into anything like that, but she died. She died about 2:30. She died about 2:30 yesterday morning. She didn't suffer, she didn't get hit by a car or anything like that. I just happened to wake up about 2 o'clock in the morning. I went downstairs, thought it was a little odd that Moxie wasn't under my feet getting in my way like she usually is, and she found me. She walked up to me. I still didn't think much. And then I noticed she was breathing kind of fast and short, and then she just stood there. She wouldn't respond to anything. She wouldn't respond to her name, nothing. And so I went and woke my wife up and told her there's something really wrong with Moxie. She came downstairs and we went back to where Moxie was, and she's still just standing there, won't respond to anything, standing there solid as a rock. She wasn't off balance. So we did get her to sit, which didn't last very long, and then she laid down, and about 15 minutes later, she died. So yesterday was a rather difficult day around here. As you can imagine, my daughter didn't take it so well. We didn't take it so well either. And I buried her yesterday morning right out here. She's right kind of in that area right there. My daughter wanted to get a big rock, so I got this rock. It was over here by the silo, and we placed it right here in the corner. We're going to put Moxie across the front of it, and my daughter wants to decorate it up. My daughter wants to decorate the rock all up, and then we're going to seal it, and Moxie will always be down here at the shop with me. I decided to bury Moxie right there because if she wasn't inside the shop with me, she generally was sitting right here. So I felt that was a pretty good spot. Moxie, she was only 4 years old. She was one heck of a dog. I know on video sometimes it seemed like she was a little relaxed, maybe too relaxed, but she was a very protective dog. She had a bark of a male dog about 5 times her size, and she gave my daughter that extra sense of security. She's gonna be missed something terrible. So like I said, I'm not going to make a whole video about that. I've seen that done. I'm just not gonna do it. But I felt that I owed it to all of you that have been around a while. I felt that I should tell you what happened and why Moxie is no longer being seen running around in any of the videos. Plus, I'm sure the question might come up what that spot is out there by the door. So I am going to keep working on this a little bit today, tinker around with it, see if I can get those bleeder screws loose, get the brakes bled out, and I have a few other things I want to try and take a look at. So I'm going to end this video right here. Give it a thumbs up for Moxie Dog, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next time. Bye bye.